everybody. We wanted to get in our college football recaps for this week, and getting right into it, we're going to start off with Michigan, Nebraska. Michigan. So this was one of the two games that I watched this weekend out of the four. I fell asleep watching trying to watch MSU. And then I also didn't get to watch Ball State Western. So I did watch the Michigan game, obviously. Michigan, they were just the better team. You know, they dominated up front on both ends. Harbaugh let JJ sling it a little bit. After what I said, he must have heard me.
Exactly. Totally against what you had said last week.
Yeah.
Totally against what I said.
He's throwing heat too.
The overhit. Just
they covered and an over.
Covered and the over, yep.
Who had that?
The exact opposite of anything they've done all year.
Yep. So
I foresaw it all.
You had a great week.
It's a good week.
What a piece of trash. look how happy that's making him.
Yeah, he's
look at
so
that
happy.
guy. I haven't seen him that happy in years.
It's all from the heart, fellas. It's all from the heart.
The heart and the gut.
Comes straight from the loins.
Oh man. You know what? This is like the second week in a row you brought up some kind of loin or yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I've been told you guys are the on the D.
Yeah, you said it already. We don't need to go into that
again. Calm down, all right?
Yeah.
Right, I'm calm.
No, you're not.
Michigan looked good. Good win on the road against a team that they definitely should be beating. And they did it convincingly. So, you know, that was good for them. I don't know if you guys had any thoughts on that game at all.
No, just it was a big win for Michigan. I mean, we all expected them to win, obviously. I mean, I don't think any of us had that in doubt. Obviously, a couple of us didn't think they'd put up 45. Because they hadn't all year.
They put up 45. You just thought they'd cover.
I thought it would be the over. I picked the over.
He did pick the over.
You picked the over?
I did.
Yeah. What a piece of trash.
But I mean, they did, like you said. I mean, Harbaugh let JJ throw it. I mean, he was slinging him, man. I mean, he looked good. I think Nebraska tried their best, but it just wasn't enough, and Michigan was too much. It was a good win for them.
Yeah, man. I mean, complete domination on both sides of the ball. I put too much stock into just Matt Rule being on the sidelines. Just thought they'd be more ready. Not that they weren't prepared. They weren't ready to handle what Michigan's got. It was clear that they're another recruiting class, transfer class at minimum, from really competing for anything worthwhile in the Big Ten. That's really all I had on it. I mean, Michigan looked as Michigan should look with the team they got. I mean, no doubt about it.
Right. Ball State. It was in Kalamazoo.
Was.
Against Western. I didn't get to watch the game. Good win for Western. Probably be. I mean, I hope they. No, I don't. I really hope they don't prove me wrong. I think that might be one of the only games they win this year. Ball State is. I mean, they're not good. So, those are my thoughts on that. Good win, Broncos.
Yeah. I mean, I was saying if Western was to win, it would be them handing off the ball to Buckley the entire game. But I mean, he didn't really even have a big game. And what's the quarterback's name? Borgart,
24 for 39, 328.
I mean, dude went off. I mean, so did the Ball State quarterback, but the Western Michigan defense was strong enough to hold them, to 24. So, I mean, I won't be like making a habit of picking Western to win from here on out, because I do think that's probably the last game they win. I mean, they could maybe not, if Borgat, if he can continue to play like that, I mean, they could win one or two more games. I could see it, but and then they had this one run in the third quarter. Ball State did that made the entire Western Michigan defense look foolish. I don't know if you guys saw that highlight or not, but the kid looked like Barry Sanders out there. He just running back and forth across the field. It was bad. It was pretty bad. Ran in for a touchdown. So
no offense to that kid, because he's an extremely great athlete.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Compared to people we've ever met.
I mean, I could have done something like that, but
no doubt.
Everybody knows I'm quick.
In your heyday? Oh,
yeah. No, right now.
Oh, sure.
This is my heyday. I'm in it.
You're in your prime right now. You just hit your prime.
But yeah, no, that was cool. But that was their best play of the game for Ball State. So good win for Western.
No doubt. Good win for WMU. Bourget, Bourgois. He had a great game. I think the one thing is I don't know if that's the only game Western has left to win, because they're picking up like the thing that Lance Taylor does well, which is running the ball. Now, they didn't have a huge day running the ball, but they had a good day overall. Like, as a squad, had a good day running the ball. And when you do that, you open things up for a guy like Bourgois or Bourget or Bugatti or whoever.
Bugatti.
I mean, and I got a bone to pick with the Gilgit boys for forcing us into this damn Ball State pick.
Yeah.
When I just felt like this was Western's week to win. And I'm like, okay, this is they're one of their great bets or whatever. I don't know, dude. I'm gonna fist fight one of the Gilgit guys here. Because that's 2 weeks in a row I had to bet on Ball State where not only they let you down, they didn't even come close.
Yeah.
Like, stop making anybody bet on Ball State. I'm going to ask anything in the Great Lakes Gridiron podcast. Stop making people bet on Ball State.
Stop it. Just stop.
You're ruining lives.
You're looking at it with two of them.
You heard Connor talk about how great the odds were. He's like, put it all on that. I got nothing now.
They when they were talking about it still didn't sell me on Ball State.
It didn't me either. But I'm like, you know what? Okay, they know the MAC,
they
do.
The MAC.
They do.
Very informational, yes. But I feel like they made a case for Western, though.
It did not feel like a Western loss week.
No, it didn't.
And you were right, Dean. Gotta give it to the Swami over there.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm done with Ball State for the year.
Ball State is out.
I'm done.
I will burn that school to the ground. I swear. I'll go to Ball, Ohio, and burn it down.
Real quick, Trayson Bourget was 24 for 39 with 328 and 3 touchdowns. Buckley had 13 carries for 50 yards and a touchdown. Abdus Salam, 8 carries, 53 yards, 2 touchdowns. For Ball State, Lane Hatcher was 26 to 37, 316 and 3 touchdowns. So, yeah, good win for Western. I'm tired of putting Ball State in parlays that I keep losing.
Yeah.
Central didn't cover. We'll get into that in a minute.
Oh, dude, I had a 20 game parlay. I didn't bet Ball State. I went 19 of 20 in the money line parlay. Freaking Georgia Tech losing to Bowling Green.
Yeah. I think I had a 14 where I think that was my one.
It was minus 1,600. And I'm like, okay, that's just an easy one to throw in.
Yeah. Got
How much money are
dominated.
you looking to make on that? Like 50 cents?
I mean, it was like plus 400 to 500 by the time I got.
Oh.
I added 20 games. I mean, it was
Right,
like
right. Well, I thought you said it was like minus.
that game was minus 600. I was betting big.
I thought you were
favorites
talking about
mostly.
the whole bet. I was like, you put
Oh,
money
yeah,
on that?
yeah.
I was
No,
like,
no,
really?
I would have lost money on winning
Yeah,
it.
I
Yeah.
was like, what?
Yeah, I had a 19. Yeah, I was sitting right there with you. I had a 19. It was the only one that didn't hit, and it was plus 27.18.
Yeah, dude. Incredibly
And
frustrating.
it was super frustrating because I'm like, if I take that out, it's not even like a real odds mover either. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah,
pretty much
I
just a fill
know.
gap.
Like, I
That's
probably would have made more money if I had taken that game off.
yeah,
Mm.
or at least like just a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It probably would have been like still plus 2,000, maybe even more. So yeah,
Just
and they got
crazy.
manhandled. It never was
wasn't-
close.
No,
Go Bowling Green.
apparently.
Tell you what, I'd rather put them in a parlay than Ball State.
Never again.
Never.
Well, maybe not never. Not this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh. All right. Anyways, moving along. Eastern at Central. Central pulled it off 26-23. Jace Bauer was 19 of 26 for 218, one touchdown and an interception. Austin Smith played better, 20 of 26, 186 yards and a touchdown. He was also the team's leading rusher with 71 yards on 19 carries. Jalen Jackson and Samson Evans combined for 19 carries and 84 yards with a touchdown. For Central, we talked about Bauer already. Miles Bailey had a good game with 14 carries, 92 yards. And yeah, good win for the Chips. Proud of them. I actually did get to watch that game. They honestly, it was a fun game to watch. It kept me interested through the whole game. Man, Bauer played pretty good. He's been stepping up. They put Bird out there a couple times to run the ball, and that looked good. I mean, it's one of those things though. If you're going to line him up at quarterback, he's going to run. So, you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
The trick play is him passing at this point.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who else played really well? Brian Dooley. Dude, he's an anchor on that right side. He's
solid football player.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can tell and this isn't dogging him. You can tell his footwork's a little off at times, but I mean, he holds it down. He holds it down on the right side. It's that left side that can get
been struggling.
Yeah, that's been struggling. They played good football. Central just I really felt like they were just the better team. Which brings me to real quick before I let you guys talk here. CMU has a favorable schedule the next 4 weeks. They play Buffalo, Akron, Ball State, and NIU respectively. 3 weeks from now.
That's a slate, dude. That's a slate
all
to go on a run.
All 1-4 teams. Then that gets them to Western, which is a game they should win. I do think they're the better team, which puts them at 8-2 going into Ohio.
Who would have thought?
Hey, they got to win them. They got to win them first.
They do have to win them.
Still have to win them.
They do have to win them, but they are games that they should win.
No doubt.
Crazy enough, here we are. And I mean, you can obviously attribute that to McElwain putting Bauer in. That's kind of changed the whole dynamic of that team. Bauer still has obviously some things to work on, but he's definitely the better quarterback at this point. Yeah, it's looking it's looking good for Eastern. They'll need to play strong the rest of the season. They need to get things right while they play these inferior opponents. They play Ball State, Kent State, and NIU respectively the next 3 weeks. All again 1-4 teams, teams that they should, they should be beating. And Dooley, keep it up, man. Keep it up. I'm proud of the guy. Factory. So, Dean, what are your thoughts on Central Eastern?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a good game. It was cool to see Central return that kick right off the start of the game. Kind of get the momentum in their favor early. As you said, Bauer, I mean, he looked more comfortable, in the system. I think the more he plays, I think the better he'll get throughout the year. I mean, maybe not, but I think as of right now, I mean, he's been the clear option to be the guy for the rest of the year. I think, I mean, they were both pretty evenly matched teams, I thought, throughout the entire, obviously they only won by 3, but seeing Austin Smith, like, I'm trying to like kind of play both sides of it because I know they're both Michigan teams. And Austin Smith probably had his best game of the year. I mean, you could tell that they really switched up what they were kind of doing. A lot more short passes for him, quick screens, things like that, just to kind of get the ball out of his hands. And it worked, for the most part. If they could have been doing that a couple of weeks ago, probably would have been huge for them instead of trying to go yard every pass. But and I mean, overall, I mean, I was glad to see CMU come through. Hopefully they just keep it up throughout the rest of the year. I mean, like you said, they have a favorable schedule coming up, and as Eddie said, they still have to win those games. So we'll see. And I mean, I hope they keep it up.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. Fire up Chips.
Mhm.
I mean, big win. Big win.
Big
I mean,
win.
we talked about it last week. There's no way before the season we would have ever predicted Central as the winner for the game, let alone we were picking, everybody was picking them to win before the game.
I did.
Oh, I thought you.
Oh, yeah.
Season preview.
Kind of. I think you picked them to lose and win.
No, I had them winning both times.
Okay.
I said, but I did say it'd be Eastern's first loss. So I said they would be going in Mount Pleasant.
I mean, I would just piggyback on some of what Dean said there. It's just, Magic McElwain's at it again, doing his thing out there, dude. Making sure he doesn't take a second, consecutive losing season. But I would piggyback what I was saying with the Austin Smith stuff. I wish Eastern had been doing that throughout the year so far. I mean, they had a real nice mix, like you said, 26 passes, 19 carries. He's involved in 45 plays where he's the main person. And, it's almost half and half. And that's the only time we've seen that this year.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes you wonder, like, why weren't you going that route before? So I had more to think about and talk about when it comes to Eastern as opposed to Central, because Central did what they were supposed to do. It was a tough game. They had to pull it out, get that touchdown towards the end of the game to get it, take the lead. But they should win, especially with Jace Bauer in. They just, like you said, you guys have said, I mean, they just look like a better team. So yeah. I mean, I was excited. Great schedule coming up. Hopefully we can, go live down there at Waldo and check that game out in person.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Awesome. It's awesome. Which leads us into our last game, MSU versus Iowa. Real quick, for me, like I said earlier, I fell asleep watching them. At the time, it was close, and I just got in a little comfy position and snoozed myself away.
Fair enough.
Were
And
they in the lead when you fell asleep?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
Dang.
Were they had the lead after halftime, right?
Not at
Yeah,
half.
No,
it
after.
was in the third quarter
Yeah.
when they took the lead.
Yeah, that's pretty much when I went to sleep. So, um, real quick for stats before I let you guys get into this, um, Noah Kim, 25 of 44, 193 yards, 3 picks. Nathan Carter, 20 carries for 108 yards. Jeez, Pete's. I haven't really looked at it. Cade McNamara went down early. Deacon Hill, 11 27, 115 yards, a touchdown and interception. What'd they do? Kick 3 field goals and a touchdown? Um, Eric All had 4 receptions, 67 yards, and a touchdown. Fellas, I'm gonna let you guys take over. Like I said, I unfortunately fell asleep. We'll start with Dean.
Yeah. I mean, I am going to give Michigan State a little bit of credit. Yes, Cade McNamara went down early, right? And that was definitely an open window for Michigan State to kind of take control, or at least try to hold their offense to something. They battled it out. 3 picks from Kim definitely didn't help, given that last one was kind of on a drive for pride at that point. I think they were already down 10, right, with like a minute left or something like that. So it was more of a drive just to have some pride points, essentially. I mean, unless they got lucky with the onside, but probably not. I thought the defense played pretty well. I mean, for most of that game, but if the offense can't get it done, I mean, the defense. I mean, what's it? No gloves, Cal Hal or whatever.
Yeah,
no glove, no gloves. Holiday. I mean, he scooped that fumble right up, took it in. I got excited, because I mean,
yeah.
They took that lead. I was like, they stopped them on defense and had another shot with the ball to just put it up more. Just offense just couldn't deliver. I think Kim threw another pick on that drive, probably. It was tough to watch the end. They couldn't close it out. They played 3 solid quarters of football, and then I mean, I wouldn't even know if you could really give it solid, but they played 3 okay quarters of football, enough to give them a chance, and then they just couldn't finish it at the end. I will say this though: if there's one bright spot, is that the kickers had a good day, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, the Michigan State kicker hit a 58-yarder, and I was like,
Kinnick Stadium record.
Yeah, and those are, and then the other guy hit like a 54 for Iowa, something like that. It's like, man, those are kicks that get you in the NFL, So good for those guys.
Good for those guys.
Good for them. Maybe they'll be in the NFL one day. But that's about all I can really say. Go ahead. I'll let you go.
Yeah, man. Another 4 turnovers for the offense. I mean, just sad. I had texted Bill early, like sometime in the second half or first quarter ish, when Michigan State was driving down the field. They got down to the red zone, and the announcer was like, Michigan State was driving the ball really well last week, but the turnovers really killed them. And then literally, like the next play, Noah Kim threw an interception. You're like, yeah, no, that makes sense. I had 2 really big takeaways from the game. The first one is clearly that it's time to move on from Noah Kim. He's not getting it done. I mean, the kid can't roll out and throw a complete pass. If you see the pressure coming, he never steps up into that pocket. He always tries to like back out, run out, and it's always an issue because he's not taking the actual space that's there for him. That's just stuff I was watching during the game, obviously. And he's a quarterback. I think he's a classic case of a guy who has got a really good arm, but isn't really a quarterback. What was like really good in like high school, like because he just had the cannon, right? The kid could throw it. He just makes bad decisions or he doesn't throw it where he's supposed to. I mean, like if you're a high school guy and you have a decent receiver, you could probably just chuck it up to that guy and you look like a stud,
Yeah.
That's what he reminds me of. He's not really reading the field. He's not checking progress. He's just kind of just throwing it, just seeing where it might go. Like if all the receivers were riffing it out there, honestly, they'd probably do a lot better. Like if they were all cutting off, like, hey, just zigzag and then cut left, or something. Like he would probably be doing better. That wasn't what I had written down, but that's what I was thinking over the weekend. The second big takeaway, because like I said, he either isn't getting it done or he can't get it done based on what he has around him. And by that, I mean that nobody is coaching the team. That is the biggest thing I noticed through the whole game. At minimum, there's nobody head coaching the team. Barnett, they even put it up there. He's the acting head coach. I mean, he is literally just acting like he's a head coach without actually being a head coach. As far as what I can see on the sidelines, I mean, I was watching these big plays, timeouts, whatever, where like the offense is getting together or even the defense, but it was like 3 to 5 serious situations, right? Where they're really trying to figure out what they're going to do on the next play because it's kind of crucial to the game. And Harlan Barnett's nowhere in sight. I couldn't imagine seeing Jim Harbaugh not in that, like with the assistant coach, with JJ or whoever,
right,
talking during that situation, or even Jim McElwain. You know what I'm saying? Like they'd be involved.
And to your point on that, when Harbaugh was suspended, it'd be like if Mike Hart or Sharon Moore just wasn't in those timeout huddles. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just right. I'm like, where the hell is it? Like I'm just watching it. I see a timeout. It's a big down coming up, and they're all like, it's just a bunch of assistants coaching their separate positions. That's what it looks like to me. Like these guys don't really have a chance. Like nobody's really making the big call. I don't know if I'd ever seen that. I don't think he had an actual chance to get the job at Michigan State, barring like getting 9 or 10 wins this year.
Right.
But if he did have a chance at getting the job, this is literally the worst audition for a head coaching job I have ever seen. I have not. I mean, just going off what I just said, it's like, what are you doing? He looks like a freaking idiot out there, man. Like, I want to like Harlan Barnett because I know he's been with the program a really long time and he's a big program guy, which is great. But why are you sitting there clapping, smiling after Noah Kim throws another interception? What the flip are you freaking smiling about, man? Like, seriously. What are you happy about? Why are you clapping? We had our third turnover, second turnover. Noah Kim throws another pick. We fumble again. And you're just clapping? Just like, what are you doing? You look stupid. It looks so dumb. I understand he's a program guy, but at least put somebody on there who'll have the microphone in front of their mouth once in a while. I'll give one of you guys $10 if you can get a picture of him at the next game with the actual microphone from his headset in front of his mouth.
I saw him bring it down one time during the last game.
Get a picture of it because it'll be quick.
Do you really want? It is. It's very quick.
That'll be a real quick. You'll have to be ready to go because you won't see it otherwise.
That was it. That was the only time.
He ain't talking to nobody. He's just
He was like,
listening.
2 hot dogs ahead.
The only
he's-
person he talks to is D'Antonio on the sideline, where they're just laughing it up together after the next turnover. I don't know if you saw that. Did you see that? They're over there just hamming it up, dude. Telling another joke to each other after a turnover to end the game, pretty much. I mean, dude, why are we winning 16-10 in the third quarter? 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. We're winning by almost a touchdown, and we're going for it on fourth down from our own 30-yard line when the other team is moving the ball worse than us.
Yeah.
How freaking stupid is that?
Mhm.
We haven't scored on offense all day. You expect our offense to convert a fourth down from our own 30? Like, who's making these decisions? That is the worst time to have ever gone for fourth down.
They're coming from God himself.
It had to have been, dude. Yeah, and he's an Iowa fan because it wasn't for us. It wasn't for State, dude. It was just so, like, maybe let's do the Michigan thing. Let's rotate some guys. Like Scotty Hazelton sucks, but he'll at least probably try to coach the team.
Mhm.
Jay Johnson sucks. He might try to coach the team. I mean, somebody. Because it just looks like a free-for-all to me. And I think that's kind of been the theme. It's
Right.
worked against a MAC school. It worked against an FCS school. It's not going to work in the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
You got talented guys. They do have to be organized.
Yeah.
They do have to know what's going on.
Right.
They do have to get some good advice
So
at some point.
So he's pretty much a figurehead, essentially.
There's no question. If he isn't just a figurehead, then he's just a really terrible football coach. Because he's not. Look, I hate to put it on him because he's been with the program a really long time. But if you're gonna do that, at least have a little pride, man. Freaking at least get in the huddle when they're talking about trying to convert a fourth down.
Right.
It's maybe put your 2 cents in. You're the head coach, dude. Maybe be like, hey, let's go this way with it.
Right.
Or how about Noah Kim throws a pick? We'll just clap and smile it up on the sidelines. That's great. No, that's perfect. That's exactly what I was hoping. He looks stupid, dude. It just looks stupid. Like, why are you smiling? You look like a freaking idiot.
Hmm.
How many times have you seen Jim Harbaugh super pumped over an interception?
Right. Right.
Can you name one?
No.
I mean, honestly, can you really at any time?
No.
No, of course not. That's crazy, dude. It means you just
couldn't
you have no.
I couldn't imagine him laughing it up on the sidelines as when you're losing.
Yeah,
You know
man.
what I mean? There's no way.
No shot. And I saw D'Antonio smiling too. I'm like, what the hell is that?
You don't
You
care.
didn't smile once in like 12 years.
He's just getting paid to be there, man.
He's literally obviously just there just to hang out and be like, and make a joke with Harlan every now and again to make him feel good. I mean, he's obviously not taking a part.
No.
In what's happening.
What do you think he said to him? He was like, "Yeah, you get him next week," and they were like, "Ah!"
Because they have 2 Hawkeyes walk into a bar.
Oh,
right?
they're off this weekend.
Thank God. Dude, if Noah Kim is still out there, I just don't know if I can watch. They're on the road at Rutgers. If Noah Kim starts, they're going to get their freaking butts kicked, dude. I mean, I would just hope that they started Kim because it was like, okay, Iowa, he's probably not going to have a good game, obviously. And it'll give a week and then another practice week for like Hauser or Levitt to prep with the starters. But if Kim is starting this week, dude, I'm just on the basketball season. At least we got a top 5 team going into that because
we're back to that, huh?
And a real coach. Honestly, name me how many schools have a really good football and basketball team at the same time.
I guess.
Sometimes one or the other.
Yeah.
Ohio State or Florida usually. And one year, Ohio
Florida?
State and Florida both met in the national championship for basketball and football. And I
That's
bet
pretty
on
rare.
both games. I bet Florida and won against Adam. He doesn't like betting against me because I always beat him in the bets.
It's super rare.
Yeah, no, that's the only instance
Yeah.
I can think of.
Real quick before we get back to the episode with Doty, Urban Meyer. Do you like it?
I mean, I'd love it.
There's a rumor.
I've
Yeah,
heard
there's
that
a
rumor,
rumor.
too. There's always
I
a
don't.
rumor, though.
I can't imagine. Just because he already makes 7 million just to talk about football.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how much more are you going to go over top of that?
Yeah.
And he's almost 60. I mean, it
It's
doesn't
hard-
have the
it's hard
automatic advantages that he likes. Like, you go to Florida, that's just an automatic recruiting ground. You go to Ohio State, that's automatic. Like, there's so many just built-in advantages. Like, Michigan State is a really good job, but it doesn't have what he's accustomed to either.
Yeah, you can't.
And
grab
for the
them,
money they
but-
got to pay him, they'd have to probably pay him more than they paid Mel Tucker. And I don't know if they got the stomach for that.
Yeah, and I mean, with the whole thing with Mel Tucker going on and Larry Nassar, probably don't want Urban close to any women in East Lansing. I'm just saying.
I think forget that. I think who cares? Honestly. You're
just
not going to get
partying,
good
bro.
media coverage on it anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it just doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's a good football coach that's winning games, just go for it.
Let him party,
It doesn't
bro.
matter. I think no matter what you do, you don't get good coverage, statewide coverage for Michigan State in the state of Michigan. You just because the Free Press and the Detroit News are the statewide papers, and they're big Michigan papers. It's just straight up. They call it the blue wall because they protect the Michigan situation. It is what it is, man.
Yeah.
You find that like
Right.
everywhere, right? They're close. They're what, 20 minutes from there. They probably got a lot of grads from. I don't know. It is what it is.
Yeah.
That's life. That's showbiz, baby.
That's life.
Hey.
You know.
So, yeah.
Urban, they just can't pay him probably what he would want compared to what they would be willing to offer. Like if it was 7 just to come straight over to Michigan State, I could see it. But why would he leave just a talking about football job to like have to work like hardcore
Yeah.
all year round for the same?
And he's going to have to work a lot harder than he did at Ohio State or Florida, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
No doubt.
he's got heart problems. So,
Oh, dude, the health issues would come up within the first 2 years.
That first season would be tough on him, especially when he's kicking his kickers and smacking around his QBs or whatever he does.
Hey, dude, that's fine. I don't that I love that. Go hardcore, dude. Hey, these kids are getting practically paid now.
That's true. That's true.
I think you go with someone like I don't know how you guys feel about like Pat Narduzzi. No Narduzzi, huh?
I think you got to think bigger.
They'll
probably end up because Michigan State doesn't have the nuts to do it, but they should think bigger than that. Yeah.
Who you like just off the top of your head? Who you think?
The 2 names that are at the top so far, I mean, I don't know. Bigger, it's more like I don't know. I just don't think Narduzzi's the guy either, but he's a little older. You got to think a little younger. But like Elko at Duke is usually at the top. PJ Fleck has been very connected. He was apparently really interested in 2020. And he's interested again. I don't love PJ because he's kind of a D-bag, but at the same time, he's a proven program builder. He's a hard recruiter. I think he would find more recognition. I don't know. I was going to say success, but he would find more recognition at Michigan State than he would at Minnesota because you just play in the bigger games every year. And I think they'd compete.
All right.
He's a good coach. I don't love it, but he's a good coach.
Right. All right. Well, we'll see how it unfolds.
Yeah, we'll
So-
see. It'll probably be like Tony and Nice, and then I'll just go jump off a cliff.
And now back to our regular scheduled
Yeah.
programming.
Next week, will we see if PJ Fleck rows the boat down banks of the Red Cedar?
Exactly.
There's a school that's known to all. That's what I hear.
He's a good recruiter.
So, all right. Well, sports talk.